Hey everybody, I'm Rutledge Wood from NASCAR on NBC, and you're watching World of Stock Car Racing League. Enjoy!
Welcome everyone, we are live here from The Rock, other known as Rockingham Motor Speedway. Join with me in the booth tonight, it is Frank Marchese. He's going to be joining me here all night tonight. We do have a in-race reporter, we're trying to get it all worked out for that, but hope everybody's ready for some great night of racing action here from The Rock. Frank, this place is going to be fun. Talk us through your thoughts on going into tonight's race.
It's a difficult circuit, and thank you very much for having me on here. I do apologize again for missing last week at Daytona, but this is a very difficult racetrack, not just for the current cars. What's going to make this circuit, what's going to make this race rather incredibly interesting is the fact that this is the first time since these cars were released for the Week 13 update. This is the first time that these cars are going to be driven in anger somewhere that's not Daytona, Talladega, or North Wilkesboro. So this is going to be a completely different challenge. Old style cars, old style racetrack. This is going to be a very exciting evening.
Yeah, you was talking about that coming onto the air about the challenges and stuff like that. So we do got a little bit of a change compared to what we did last week. One of the biggest things, of course, is 165 laps. You guys see the logo on your screen, the original 165. We'll get into the sponsors and all that stuff here in just a moment. But 5 sets of tires, 165 laps that can be managed. One of the biggest things coming into tonight, no fast repairs, but 5 sets of tires, no fast repairs. These guys are going to have to be very careful not to burn up their stuff and use it up too quickly.
Yeah, definitely. And the no fast repairs, that is actually a rule that has been changed over the course of the week. There are no fast repairs at all except for Daytona and Talladega. Now, everyone will get at least one fast repair for Daytona and Talladega. But as you mentioned, the tires around here at this track, you heard it in real life racing at Rockingham. Even, 5 years ago when the Truck Series came back here for a one-off showing. This place really eats up tires. And in these old cars, that is going to be a very, very difficult challenge, and we're going to see who's going to come out on top of it.
Real fast, I want to make sure we get our sponsor thanks and all that. CSO Diecast. If you haven't checked them out, the WOSCRL Throwback Series is presented by the CSODiecast.com. They are the official retailer of Lionel Racing Collectibles, which is a very awesome diecast page that produces them and stuff like that. Make sure you guys check out CSODiecast.com for some of the newest diecast collectibles. And while you're there, make sure you sign up, because if you do sign up, you actually get benefits and savings, which is always awesome. Of course, you cannot thank Manscaped enough. You can actually use the code, or we do thank Manscaped. You guys see the logo and stuff on the screen going by as well. Manscaped right now, if you use the promo code WOSCRL, you save 20% plus free shipping. Which is absolutely amazing, especially in times like now where shipping's ridiculous, let's just be honest. And, of course, KillerBrownie.com. Yeah, I got a long conversation last week about them. I mean, let's just be honest, amazing. Qualifying's getting underway right now, Frank, and I do want to bring in our race reporter, but we're going to wait till he qualifies before we bring him in. So let's hop down to the track and watch some of these guys put some laps down.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see, because there are multiple lines that you can run here, or at least in real life. There were multiple lines, and the outside in 3 and 4 was actually the preferred line. Be interesting to see who tries to venture out there and when, and if they will, for qualifying.
I'll tell you what I'm interested in. I'm just sitting here watching these guys actually out on track. I'm watching Benjamin Shelton right now. I watched him go through the corner, and I see a lot of bottoming out. Like, the pressures might not be very up or high on these cars right now, but there's a lot of sparks flying off the back of these cars, which could make them loose, especially on exit.
Yeah, I've been flipping through a lot of these guys, and you mentioned Shelton, so I switched to him. I'm seeing everybody bottoming out as Drew Ballesteros goes to the top with a 24.313. at the moment. Benjamin Shelton, as you mentioned, with a 24.409, currently sits P4.
Yeah, Tony Ball's out on track right now. I think he's one of the hottest drivers coming in. He was pretty fast in practice as well, like we know. You gotta, I mean, when you look at these drivers, he's got to be one of the guys that you're going to be watching out for here tonight as he gets really loose through turn 3 and 4.
It definitely is. I mentioned to you off air, this league has run 125 laps, granted all of them at Daytona. Tony Ball has led 93 of those 125 laps, so he has been dominant from the word go. And it's going to be very interesting to see when we get him off of a super speedway. He's a very talented driver. Get him off a super speedway. We'll see how he handles this place.
Yeah, and there's other guys in here that we're going to watch. We're watching one of them right now, Bobby Petrika. He's going to be our inter-race reporter, by the way, tonight in a very awesome Red Baron paint scheme, one of the coolest paint schemes out on the race surface tonight. Looks like he's going to pull off track, so this is going to give us the opportunity to go ahead and bring him in and talk to him about tonight's race. And let me see if we got him. Bobby, it's Adam and Frank up in the booth. You got a copy? Oh, you got me?
Yes, sir. Hey, you got me?
There he is. Yes, sir. Got you loud and clear, man. Rolling off right now. Currently 11th at a place that is very historic. Let's just be honest. These cars, very historic as well. What's your thoughts on attacking this place tonight?
Well, to be honest, it's definitely going to be a matter of saving your tires. I have unfortunately probably have not practiced as much as some of these other guys, but I can definitely tell tires and taking care of them is definitely going to help you out. Right now, it looks like I'm kind of towards the back here. I got a little loose in one of the corners there on my qualifying lap, but yeah, definitely taking care of your tires and not burning them up too quick. Take it nice and easy. Don't do anything stupid on lap 2, that kind of thing.
We got 5 sets of them tires, and tires are always important. Usually you have guys that come down literally every pit stop to take tires. You cannot do that here tonight, unfortunately, which is a good thing for us in the broadcast booth, maybe not for you guys as drivers. Are you thinking about how to use them 5 sets? Do you have an idea in your mind of what you want to do?
Well, if you split it evenly, I think it's somewhere between 35 and 40 laps per set if you split it completely even.
Right.
Kind of see how things go as you get the race started. If it's like Daytona, we may have an early, I hate to say caution fest, but we may have some cautions towards the beginning, and then it kind of goes green later on. That's kind of my gut feeling on where it's going to go. Yeah. So just kind of play it by ear and see how much cautions we run and go from there.
Yeah, I have the same feeling as well. Frank, do you have any questions now for our inter-race reporter? I know we're going to be checking in with him throughout the race. All right, I'll take that as a no.
I'm sorry, audio was cutting out. My apologies.
You're good. You got any questions for him that you want to ask him before we let him get back to racing? I know he's our inter-race reporter, but do you have any questions for him?
Yeah, I do actually, Bobby. How big do you think that top 5 finished 5th at Daytona? It's early, start saying momentum, but you also had a good race at the Clash. Taking that momentum into Rockingham, how do you think that will serve you?
I mean, it's definitely good to get started off on the right foot. Daytona was the early part of the race was just a matter of survival, and then we went towards the end, and we even got a green flag pit stop in, and I was running real close to the top there, and sorry, I forget his name. The one car, he spun coming onto pit road, and I had to stop to not run into him, and still was able to finish up in 5th. But it's always nice to be up in the top 5 as opposed to be in the bottom 5 for sure.
Well, we're going to be watching you tonight, man, and we're going to be talking to you here during some of these cautions and stuff like that. Do you want to give any shout-outs before we let you go so you can get ready to go racing?
Well, definitely shout out to Skylar for inviting me into this, and I do some streaming on Twitch as well. I'm live right now.
Yeah, shout out.
Bearded 8. I've been having a good week or 2 here streaming. Got rated by Garrett Smithley the other night, and it's just been a lot of fun. So yeah, I got my Twitch going and happy to be chatting with you guys tonight.
Hey man, go put it in victory lane and see what you can do tonight.
Yes.
Thank you, buddy. All right, we are set to start. Well, the grid has already begun here, should I say. Let's get this one underway. What do you think, Frank?
I'm excited. This one should definitely be a good one. I'm very interested in this race.
Yeah, I am as well. Of course, you see Drew up in that number 22 car. He is going to be your pole sitter here tonight. alongside that 51 car. Going to be rolling alongside him, Jacob Hubry, or is it Hubry? I believe is how you say his name, Hubry. Yeah, something like that.
That's different than what I would have said, but I don't know if I'm right either. So.
Yeah, I'm from Tennessee. We butcher names. Go figure. Anyway, ready to start rolling here. We do want to thank everybody for tuning in here on ESPN. We are live on Facebook and YouTube. We didn't think we'd be live on Facebook, but we are live on Facebook as well. Make sure you guys hit the like and subscribe button. Frank has actually joined our ESPN group, and I just met you. Like, this is how we met. You was planning on running this. And you decided to come into the booth, and now you're with the ESPN, which is amazing, by the way, because usually that ain't how it works. But either way, it works great for us because you have a lot of knowledge about, not only broadcasting in general, but iRacing as well.
Yeah, thank you very much. And yeah, you're right. I was supposed to be racing in this league until I heard there was a broadcast, and this is the career path that I've chosen to get into is broadcasting, and I said, racing, this is going to be fun, but I think I'd get a little bit more enjoyment and practice by going up in the booth and having fun with you guys.
You do learn a lot. I broadcasted now over 500 and something races. You learn a lot about driving cars in general. Watching broadcast, it may not be the same as driving the car, but you learn quite a bit about driving these cars and other cars just by watching the broadcast. And so that's pretty neat.
Yeah, definitely. It's been really fun, especially watching these cars bouncing around Daytona. I can't wait to see them bouncing around here.
All right, here we go. 167 laps scheduled, and the green flag is out. We're racing from Rockingham as the 22 Drew out front. And Drew Ballesteros, is that how you say his name?
Yes, it is.
Hey. All right, so there we go. He's able to gap it pretty good, and we're actually going to jump back to fourth. That's where our biggest battle is. This is somebody you got to watch as well. Chris Stouffer, who had a great run at Daytona, unfortunately didn't finish where he probably should have. Trying to battle Benjamin Shelton, actually going to take that fourth spot away, or we'll move into fourth spot. Cody McCory going to move into fifth now as he battles for 15.
Yeah, it's a battle for the lead as well going on up front as the 51 had almost taken that lead, getting to the line, but Ballesteros able to hold him off.
It's a great look down. We're watching that battle for the lead right now. You see Jacob here in that 51 M&M's car. Now, this is kind of surprising, and I'm not calling him out by any means when I say this. Jacob did not have the best Daytona. I forgot off the top of my head where he finished, but it was kind of rough. I think he got involved in an incident, if I'm not mistaken. Here he is up to second right now.
I believe he did. There were a lot of incidences early in that race at Daytona, and after, kind of moving around and figuring everything out, we got a pretty decent race out of it.
Yeah, and you can kind of look back here throughout the field as we actually see our in-race reporter, Bobby Patrica, getting passed by the number 74, Russell Braca, and Russell keeps moving up right now. That was for 15th place, and as we look a little bit further forward, you also see the 28, Skylar Grissom. He just put a pass here on the 47, it looks like. I'm actually surprised right now.
Yeah, third place finisher at Daytona. These guys have gotten spread out, and that's going to be the key. Is these guys getting spread out at the beginning of this race. If you can get spread out, you can actually settle down. You can figure out how these cars are going to run. You shouldn't really have too many incidences once we get away from each other.
I think that's what a lot of people forgot about these cars to today's cars. These races back in the old days did actually get spread out. I think a lot of people tend to forget that. It wasn't bumper to bumper, I promise, the entire time. I mean, you would have guys at Daytona and Talladega actually separate by quite a bit. So, this is the type of racing that I love seeing because you're starting to see talent instead of the draft package or anything like that play a factor.
Yeah, you have to be a real wheelman to be able to control these cars. And right now, it's kind of a three-way breakaway at the lead. Drew Ballesteros in the 22. You got the 51 in there as well, and I believe that's the 12 of Michael Bussell. Sort of breaking away from the pack here as we continue on lap 7.
Yeah, and right now on lap 7, we look back, here's the pass. Benjamin Shelton going underneath Chris Stouffer. Shelton going to be able to pass right on that yellow line. And you mentioned that this could become a two-groove racetrack. A lot of people don't realize that, but you're kind of right, especially once the tires wears off. You may see guys kind of navigate a little bit more towards the middle and top.
Yeah, the migration towards the outside will definitely take effect. And as you mentioned, Chris Stouffer had a very good run both weeks at Daytona, and looking to keep that up here at Rockingham, running in 6th place right now.
Yeah, actually did a pretty nice job of sitting here looking around. One thing I've actually noticed some cars actually doing, Frank, and I don't know if this is going to be a trend that happens. I've seen some cars entering low, and then they wash up towards the middle of the outside or top lane, and then they actually start diving back down. I just seen that happen a moment ago with our 2nd place driver. I'm not sure if that was planned or something happened, but I've seen a couple cars actually doing that now.
Yeah, no, that was something that was a big characteristic of this circuit, was just the trying to diamond the corner and trying to get a straighter run off, a nice hefty run in, diamond it off, try to get that run out. And you can see Drew in the lead there. He is doing that, just maybe not as severe as you may think, but he is getting a little bit of a diamond going there.
Yeah, we got a yellow out on track. It looks like the 74 had a little bit of run in here with the 3 car hard into the outside wall. As unfortunately, with no quick repairs, I believe that 74 just blew up, and that's pretty much going to take his chances. That was Russell, unfortunately, going to take his chances. I don't know if the 3's got a little bit of damage here as well on the nose of that Indy Auto Sport number 3 car, kind of a Dale Earnhardt scheme. I'll get it out here in a minute, but yeah, unfortunately for Russell, that's not the way he wanted it not to go.
And I want to see how much damage that 6 of Nicholas Post has, because he broadsided it. It looked like he net coated through him.
Yeah, I'm seeing her.
So I would be very interested to see how much damage that 6 actually has, and if any of it's real, if it's affecting him.
I see it. We see cars, of course, coming up pit road. It's not as bad as honestly, considering how bad it could have been, it's not as bad as what it should have been. You know what I mean? So we'll have to see if there's any type of, was it netcode damage or was it actual, legit damage that's going to hurt you. I can tell you that this is where the tire thing's playing a factor. Look, nobody really came in.
Yeah, no, you really, especially here, you have to save the tires. There are a lot of things you can do, but you have to save these tires here. This surface is like a cheese grater. It will take those tires away from you very, very quickly. So you have to try to preserve the tires. You cannot come in every single time like we're so used to doing on iRacing. Coming in every caution, getting a new set of tires. Where the tire limit, you really have to be sparing and very precise on when you want to take those tires.
Now, Frank, we had a question come across on the Facebook page, and it's a question for you. Wanting to know if there is going to be waiver rounds.
I believe there are going to be waiver rounds. I'm actually not sure on that one.
They do have Lucky Dog turned on. They actually do. I just looked it up. So I had to look it up because I didn't know either.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Yes, I would assume yes. If there are Lucky Dogs, I would assume yes, waiver rounds.
Yeah, so there you go. Now lap cars. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Frank. Lap cars. Now, if you're a lap down, this is single file restarts. Lap cars are going to be starting on the inside.
Yes.
So keep that in mind for anybody that's out there. And keep in mind, right now, there's nobody a lap down besides the 74, but he's going to be spending some time on pit road, unfortunately, with the blown engine that he had. Or I don't know if it's completely blown or whatever it was, but no fast repairs, unfortunately, going to hurt him. Now, this season is not a very long season. If you're these guys that know that they have potential and you get wrecked out early, do you go out the next few races? Do you be more aggressive than what you have been?
I think as far as Brackett's concerned in the 74, I don't think he has to be really any more aggressive.
Right.
He finished 4th at Daytona, so that put him up there, and he could afford, especially being this early in the season, you can afford to have a bad race or two now. You just can't afford to make it a habit.
Tell you what I'm looking forward to as we get set to go back green. But I am looking forward to next week because we got a Pocono, and I don't know what these cars are going to do at Pocono. I'm just going to be honest. I have no clue. So
I think you're going to see a lot of racing very similar to this. It's going to get spread out, but it's going to be at the speed of Daytona.
yeah, so it's going to make things very interesting. But yeah, here we go. Get ready to go back green. Sorry about the noise people heard. Live on Facebook. People call on Facebook. It's weird. So sorry about that. I was like, who's calling me on Facebook? And but I do apologize for people that heard that. All right, here we go. Green flag is back out, as you can tell. I'm a little bit late on my end. That's my fault. Battle right now, kind of going to be. By the way, I noticed the 12 actually had some damage on the right front as well.
I must have missed that.
Yeah,
I
didn't see it
don't
either.
know where he could have gotten that, actually.
Quite a bit, actually. Like, it looks like he may have got some of the wall because that right front's up there pretty good. And Napa, love that paint scheme, by the way, but got some damage.
Yeah, that does look like he would have pushed up and hit the walls. The 11 is going to get a heck of a run on him going into turn 1, trying to carry that momentum to the outside, work that run, try maybe possibly make a move going into turn 3. He's going to let him go for now. That 11, though, of Coda McCroy has to be really careful not to fall into the clutches of the 15. And look who's coming around the 15.
Yeah.
It's the Daytona 5. It's the Daytona winner. It's Tony Ball in the 84.
Yeah, I see that Gatorade car, that Darrell Waltrip paint scheme, one of my favorite paint schemes of all time. And actually, somebody is dropping back. Bitch Michelle, I don't know if you've noticed this, but his restarts or starts just have not been good. It seems like he works his way up after a few laps, but he struggles here a little bit on these starts.
Yeah, colder tires. These things are very, very hard to deal with on cold tires, and I think Benjamin might be just trying to suss the car out and see how the car is going to feel for now, and later on kind of make a move as he's fighting Ben Bando there in the 33.
Yeah, we're getting some great racing action right now all over the racetrack. I mean, this is fantastic. Everywhere we look, we're starting to see some cars move around this racetrack, trying to find different lanes. Now, you got to experience this because you've actually raced these cars at Daytona. Maybe a little bit different. I don't know if you've raced them too much other than Daytona or North Wilkesboro or any place like that. How much of these cars are aero? Is there any type of aero in these cars that you feel while you're driving? Well, I haven't experienced it, so I don't know.
I did run a couple of laps at Atlanta. Now, granted, Atlanta is very different to this, but these cars, they are, you can feel them sliding around a lot. There's not really much downforce on these cars. It's, like I said at the top of the broadcast, it takes a very skilled hand to handle one of these things and handle it quick.
Got to give a shout out real fast, by the way, to Derek Pemberton. You guys know Derek. He is a broadcaster here on ESPN. He does the Strictly Street Stocks that run on Saturday night, the off-road truck. And, of course, he's running that Raise Energy, number 82 car. He's actually sponsored by Raise Energy. Got to give him a shout-out. Actually doing a lot better than I thought he would. He wasn't real sure how he would do, and actually here he is up to 14th. Doing a really nice job. So, you know, not too bad. We'll see if he continues to march his way forward. Right now, working behind the 47. Jim, by the way, who, if I'm not mistaken, actually, yeah, Jim right now in that 47 car actually started 7th, so he's dropped back here a little bit as well.
Yeah, he did not have a great first stint in that 47. He's actually getting passed by Derek Pemberton right now in that 82 on the inside. Is going to let him go and then dive hard into 47 sliding up the track, and it should be Pemberton's position, and it is. As they hit the start line.
That was a great race right there between them two. Very respectful. And that's one thing I think that this league wants to see. And you know this. I think Skyler has in his mind of what he wants this league to become. And respectable is one of them. There is a lot of respect given between some of these drivers, especially early on right now.
Yeah, especially early on in a race like this. It's a long way to go. I mean, we're on lap, 24 of 165. Mm-hmm. There's a long way to go in this race. Really no sense in screwing up somebody else's race.
Tell you somebody else, Ben Bando just got around Chris Stouffer. He's somebody else that's worked his way up here a little bit as the race has continued. He actually started in 15th. He is up to P5 now. So he's continuing to work his way forward in that number 33 car.
Yeah, I don't think Bando or Tony took qualifying, so those two started in the back.
Yeah.
And as Bando did at Daytona, he has worked his way up to the front and is just following not that far behind Tony. Just sitting now in third position, sitting in fifth position. I meant third position for Tony, fifth, and now fighting McCroy here for 11th, for fourth in the 11.
Yeah, he's
is
nice
McCroy.
job. And of course,
I'll figure out my.
I had the same problem as well.
I'll figure out my numbers before this before the broadcast is out.
I'm telling you, between your numbers and my name calling, I don't know what's worse.
It's going to be a great broadcast.
Oh, there we go. A little bit of contact between the 13 and 11 does work its way out. That was a little interesting there. That 11 car, by the way, I know that paint scheme, and I cannot place it. I feel like that was a Darrell Waltrip paint scheme as well, but I'm not sure if it was. I feel like it is, but it's not, because I don't remember Darrell Waltrip ever running the Budweiser scheme.
Yeah, I don't. Oh, wow. That would have been Terry Labonte then, I believe, yes?
It may have been Terry Labonte. I don't know.
I believe that would have been Terry Labonte.
I'm going to pretend that I'm too young to remember. Which I kind of am, but I was born at the same time.
I was born in 92, so if you're too young to remember. I was born in
87. So, like, I don't know. I guess I can say I'm the same age as you. Gosh, I'm old. I'm getting there, man. Lord.
I'll tell you what, man. Somebody who is getting it. Look at running for second place right now. Tony Ball.
Yeah.
Just took second. He has been driving up through this field. He has driven straight up to second, taken that without issue, and now finds himself, 2 seconds behind Drew Ballesteros, who probably should be looking in his mirror now.
Let me tell you what's interesting. I'm sitting here watching the lap times on the live time, and I'm watching the last laps, and Tony has been faster. This lap he wasn't because he was in traffic a little bit. But something that's interesting, only one car that I'm looking at has been in the 24-second range, and that was the 51. He has hit a 24-second mark on the best lap. He does have the best lap right now. Everybody else is in the 25s, and actually we got a couple 26 cars, or 26-second cars in the too. But goes to show you.
That could be the problem, though. The 15 might have overdriven the car and ran the tires right off of it. You run those kind of qualifying laps too often, too early.
It makes you
and
wonder.
You're really hurting yourself for a long run.
So that definitely has shown it. And I'll tell you, somebody else has kind of done that. Skylar Grissom, he's actually fallen back to 12. Derek Pemberton has worked his way into 10th. That may be the outcome of what you said. Tires are playing a factor. I mean, honestly, we knew they would. Is this the tires falling off on some of these cars that went hard early? Is that a sign of what they might have to do?
It could definitely be. And another guy we've been looking at before was Michael Brussel. He restarted this run up in third. He's fallen all the way back down to ninth.
Yeah.
Now, you could say that's the damage on the right front.
Yeah,
and you could say it's a combination of the tires as well. But one thing is for certain, Brussel has not had a good run in the 12.
That is crazy, man. I'll be we got a slow car. Is he pitting? Yeah, the 28, Skylar Grissom coming to pit road. Very interesting, actually.
This is,
Is this scheduled?
I think this is a little early to be scheduled, but as we heard before, Bobby Petrika saying if you want to even it out, it's about 30 to 35 laps on a set of tires.
Very interesting.
So this could be just an early pit stop and trying to even out.
And for people that don't know, these pit stops last a little bit longer. Actually, Skylar Grissom, he actually may have hopped out of the car. Is he done?
I think he has hopped out of the car. Oh, no, there he is. No, there's a flag issue.
Or something, yeah. Tell you what's interesting with this. These pit stops are a lot longer on these cars compared to the Cup cars. So everybody keep
they are. Sorry, but they are right. Fight for the lead here as Tony Ball has now taken it.
Oh, he did.
From Drew Ballesteros.
Wow. He was 2 seconds behind. Something had to happen to the 22.
I don't think it was something happened to the 22. I think it was something that happened to the 84. He put the go fast juice in it.
Oh, we got a slow car. Caution's out. The 8 is around. Josh Pena has went around on the backstretch. he just lost it here, I believe, unless he got help from the 15, which may have been possible. And, yep, there you go. Just I don't know if there was yeah, there was definitely contact. Around he goes. Luckily did not get no damage, but, that brings out the caution. So, we're going to wait for pit stops to happen. I want to bring back in our pit reporter and get his thoughts on how the car is driving and stuff like that. Bobby Petrika is moved up to 11th, but we got to wait until pit stops, and we'll talk to him.
Boy, looking at the replay now, that 8 definitely got some help from the 15.
Yeah. You tell you who that did not work out for was Skylar Grissom. He is going to get one of his laps back, I believe, but that
I don't think so, actually.
Yeah,
the 27 of Daniel Rouse.
Oh, yeah, he's the lucky dog. You're correct. Yeah. Actually, Daniel pitted.
So that's
over to Skylar?
Fortunate for him then.
Yeah. Wow, that was weird. Watching Tony Ball right now. Once again, we are going to bring our inter-race reporter in here in just a moment. I want to watch this race off pit lane because this could be a big one as we watch the 22 and the 84 as we are down on pit lane waiting for this race to come off pit road. Here they come. Let's see. Here comes Tony Ball working around to the first pit stop. He's definitely going to win the race. Yeah.
Yep, he won it. It's a battle for second. It looks like Ballesteros just over.
Yep, he did get it, I believe. Showing Chris Stouffer right there in front of him right now, but I believe that. Well, actually, hold on. Oh, 22. Maya got caught speeding. He did. Woo! That's interesting. All right. So with that said, let's bring in our inter-race reporter, Bobby Petrika. You got a copy? Hey, Bobby, you got me?
Oh, yeah, I got you there.
There he is. So you've been out there now for 37 laps, and you've been up and down, starting to work your way up forward a little bit here, especially on a longer run. How's the car feeling out there, man?
Definitely, my biggest weak point is going into turn 1. I'm going to go ahead and on this next run try to play with my brake bias just a little bit because getting into 1, just for whatever reason, my left front tire keeps wanting to kind of lock up on me a little bit, which I've been trying to be really easy to not do that. And then, of course, it locks up and it gets you too high up in the corner, and then the right front's angry.
Are you feeling anything in traffic? Like, does the car want to push up or anything like that in traffic? Or is it pretty much driving, almost the same way? Or does it change quite a bit over the long run?
I mean, it definitely gets tighter as you go, but that could partially be my driving style. I got to say this, all the guys back here towards the back of the pack, everybody's been really cool with each other. And, if you stick a nose down low, hey, go ahead. No one's being unintelligent, we'll put it that way. Everybody's being pretty cool back here and just letting everybody kind of find their own.
Yeah, that's kind of what we was talking about as well. Go ahead, Frank.
Have you noticed the racing line starting to move up a little bit, especially in 3 and 4? It seemed like right at the start, you guys been running the middle to the bottom, and we're starting to see a little bit all over the track, guys starting to move up to the top. Have you tried to run up there, or have you seen more guys running up there?
Yeah, I've seen a little bit of that. Myself personally, I tend to like the bottom in 3 and 4. 1 and 2, partially because of my brakes just not quite feeling right going to the corner. I just tend to kind of drift up a lane and not try to cut it back down and really burn the right front. I try to kind of take it easy on it, but yeah, definitely. Once you get into it, it kind of starts pushing a little bit. The fixed setup that iRacing gives us here tends to trend a little bit on the tight side anyway. So as you get further into a run, that tight condition starts to increase a bit, and so you kind of work your way up to try to make the right front not quite as angry.
We had a Facebook question for you. They wanted to know what the tire wear was.
Trying to get in on my strategy here. Right front was actually at 69 there, actually. Okay. So yeah, definitely the right front was the one that was worked the hardest. Rears were still in great shape, a little bit less on the left front. You can tell with the fixed setups, the camber is a little bit off. Obviously, that's nothing we can change here. Like the inside of the right front tire was 69, the outside was 90. So wow. A little bit of a camber thing, just with the setup that they give us. But Yeah, it's just kind of what you have to deal with.
All right, man. Well, go back out there and see if you can get some more spots. You're doing a good job.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, buddy. All right, get ready to go back green. That was pretty good information, by the way, that we got.
Yeah, definitely. And I must say, this is a personal gripe with me with iRacing. Got to fix the camera on the Xfinity at Chicagoland. It is impossible.
Yeah, they've had that, as we are back green flag, they've had that camber issue now that I know for a while now. By the way, Tony Ball said goodbye on that restart. He's gone. I mean,
sensational jump.
Yeah, it's not even close. You see Christopher is getting around Skylar Grissom. Skylar is going to be 2 laps down, by the way. So he does not get that waiver room.
And actually, Rouse didn't get his lap back either, so I would assume...
He pitted with him.
No lucky dog.
It just didn't give it to him, maybe? Because he pitted with the lead lap cars.
As a lucky dog, you shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be pitting with the lead lap cars.
Where he pitted, maybe that's why I didn't give it to him, because from what I was told, it's on, so...
Stouffer has driven right back up to the back of Tony, and the 51 is right there with him.
Yeah, and this right here is where I think kind of plays into Chris's hands, and I think it plays into the 51's hands as well. I think these little short runs or early restarts play into their hands a little bit. By the way, I did notice that Benjamin Shelton back in 6th is doing a lot better. We may have another caution coming out on the track. We got a slow car around. Michael Bustle, I believe, has gone around. He is in the grass, so no caution of as yet. Let's see if we can see what happened. Here's the replay. No caution going to come out because he was off the racing surface. I think he might have just lost it coming out of turn 4.
And I think Stouffer's in the pits as well. Not Stouffer, I'm sorry. Skylar Grissom's in the pits as well.
Yep. And Michael Bustle actually got the wall and actually came down. So Skylar Grissom is on pit road. Michael Bustle not coming down pit road. And did Skylar call it quits? Because I noticed that unless it's lagging again on his end. Let's wait and see. And that's
Bustle
a tough break, by the way, for Bustle.
Yeah, Bustle moves over, lets the leaders go by, and just think, we were talking 10, 15 laps ago about him sitting in P3. Next thing we know, he's fallen back to 9th, has a decent pit stop, and now he's a lap down after spinning through the grass.
Once again, we want to thank everybody for joining us here on ESPN. We couldn't do it without you. We could, but it'd be kind of boring just sitting here talking to ourselves, which I do all the time anyway. Go figure. But we do want to thank everybody watching us on Facebook and live on YouTube as well. We appreciate it. If you got any questions, don't hesitate to ask. We do got an inter-race reporter. We'll ask him the question if we get the time. Keep in mind, there might not be some questions he does not answer. Just cause strategy and stuff like that. We got a yellow out on the racetrack.
Yeah, we do have a caution now. It's the 51 in turn 1.
Oh, I did not see him going around. Let's see what happened here. He hit hard. Okay, he was racing the 11. And he just actually, he lost it and washed up the track. Remember we was talking about washing up the track earlier? And that's exactly what happened. He does a good job of keeping it up there, then basically just slams his brakes on.
I was just about to say that he's fighting the 11. And it just looks like he drove it in too hard and just
he was doing a good job too. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't judge people by I rating or safety rating or what class you are.
Oh, there were a couple guys he almost got clipped by.
He was close. But I gotta give Jacob credit. He's only a D class driver, and he was actually running up there with Tony Ball, who's a 3,000 and 4,000 I rating. I mean, that's credit to Jacob, and I don't think that car is done. Even though it's got some damage, he will have to get some repaired. Actually, he locked it up. Well, what just happened there?
I think he was trying to get into the pits and then realized he couldn't this time.
So that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, for a D-class driver, it's even harder for a D-class driver because this is, in iRacing, this is a C-class series to drive these cars. There is no lower series, so this is especially impressive for a guy who can't run these on a weekly basis.
Yes, Dylan, this is Rockingham, like Pate said. And Pate, good to see you, by the way, man. And also we got somebody over here on the YouTube channel that says they made the paint for their 12 car. That was Socket Doc. Let's see the 12 car. Let me look. Now, if it don't look good, I'm going to call you out. Oh, Michael Bustle. That's right. I was talking about how much I like that car. It kind of looks like a gray ghost car, but I've always been a Chase Elliott fan. But I love the way. My thing with these cars, and I don't know how you feel about it, and you can chime in on this. I'm not a big fan of seeing modern paint schemes on these cars.
No.
That's my opinion.
Nope.
So I like seeing like the older top paints come out because it kind of brings out creativity in a lot of drivers or a lot of painters that we might not see. So
Yeah, definitely. And for me, I'm a fan of the obscure old paint scheme. So I think I had I've been running a Dave Marcus number 71 scheme that no one probably has ever seen in their lives.
You took your while to find that, didn't it?
So it was actually one of the first ones that came out. But I love the retro schemes on these retro cars. You shouldn't be having any nowadays schemes on these cars. It just does not fit.
Andrew C. over on YouTube says Christopher's going to wreck. Mark my words. I'm fighting words. And Kenneth over on Facebook says, I love the throwback paint schemes. I do as well. And Derek Pemberton said he has the best paint scheme out of everybody. That's I ain't gonna lie, I'm kind of biased towards it just because I painted that car. So, I'm a little bit more biased towards the 82 paint. That's actually I forgot what car it actually was based off of. It's the Campbell car. I forgot the driver off the top of my head, but it was based off that. But I do got to thank Derek. He does have, of course, the Back in the Game logo, Back in the Game podcast logo on the back quarter panel, which he's a host of. And I don't know who our next guest is going to be on the podcast. We're still looking, I think, but we'll have it here soon. Anyway, we're on lap 51. What do you think of the race so far?
It's been entertaining. It's been pretty much what I assumed it would be. It'd be a lot of open racing, a bunch of great little battles all over the place, and a couple little one-car incidents here and there to kind of break up the runs. So this is kind of going exactly how I figured it would go.
Yeah, the race has been actually, to me, I think I don't want to say I expected it because I don't think anybody really expected how it would go after Daytona. Mm-hmm. But it's been fantastic in my opinion. I think the race has actually been good. I mean, to me, it looks like Rockingham back in the old days with these cars. That's
and showing the potential of these cars and what these cars could do in the hands of capable drivers. It's a nice little display of the 87 Chevy and Fords. Yeah,
and that was one of the things I think iRacing was going for. I love seeing the throwback stuff anyway. Don't get me wrong, I love the Cup cars, but there's just something about these cars that, seems forgotten. So I'm so glad iRacing added them, and it's making great racing. I ain't gonna lie. To me, these cars are harder to run at super speedways than they are these tracks. Just
definitely. And you can see a major part of the reason why is you see the rear spoiler or lack thereof on these things. It's really hard to get these things to suck down into the corner the way you would expect it to, or the way you're used to it doing in the cars of today.
It's nice to be able to look at this car and actually tell that's a Monte Carlo, and that's a Ford compared to today's cars.
Which, by the way, top 4 bow ties. So I'm just I'm not saying, I'm just saying.
I'm just saying. Green flag set to come out, and there it goes. Back out in the air. The 84, another good restart, because he does have the option to go when he chooses. That is the benefit of being a leader.
Yeah, and Cody McCroy did not get a good restart as Ben Bando all over him right at the start. Couldn't pass him before the line, however. Holds him up. They're stuck behind Daniel Rouse in the 27.
Who is one lap down, by the way. We haven't really spoke a lot about Daniel. He's kind of just been hanging out towards the back, but hopefully right now would be the lucky dog. He's battling the 51, which is going to be a tough battle, to be honest. Let's just be honest. We know that Jacob's fast, but we'll be watching that kind of see if anything changes between them two. By the way,
another guy.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, another guy we know who's fast is Drew Ballesteros. Watch him after that pit road speeding penalty. It'd be interesting to see how quickly he can move up through the field here.
51 is on pit road, by the way. So not sure if there's a black flag issued or something there that he may have got. But unfortunately,
depends on how long he sits in the lane here.
That's a tough break because he was really fast. Oh, a little accordion effect happened right here with Andrew J. Mallon. I believe that's how you say his name. The 44.
I would assume J. Mullen, maybe.
Maybe right. Haven't really spoke about him as well. He's been 12th. I mean, he's up to 9th right now, so he's working his way forward, which is always the goal. Derek Pemberton just taking over 5th spot. Man, I got to shout him out. He is doing a fantastic job. Actually, to be honest, a lot of our guys that started in the back have worked their way towards the front.
Yeah, it is rather interesting. You take a look at Tony Ball, who's leading, started 16th. Ben Bando sitting in 4th place, P15, started P15. Pemberton started P13. He's up to 5th.
Nice.
So a lot of guys, and Bando actually taking over that 3rd spot away from Coda McCroy. And now going after Christopher in the 13.
Now, a question I got for you, because, of course, you actually started this league to race in, like we talked about earlier. Mm-hmm. How long have you been actually in here, and have you known Skyler?
I haven't known Skyler all that long. I've known Tony Ball and Ben Bando for a while, so I do know what these two are capable of, which is why it's not really surprising me all that much that they've gone from the back to the front.
Yeah, I've watched Christopher race plenty of times in other cars. Cup cars really stand out to me when I watched him race. Like the A-class cars nowadays. I've known him to do really well in that, and Bando has put a lot of pressure here on second, actually.
Yeah, Bando is incredibly quick in that 33. I unfortunately don't have a lap timer in front of me, but I would have to assume he's rivaling or surpassing the times that Tony Ball's putting up in the lead.
Yeah, last time by, he was right on the bumper of the 13, and he actually matched Tony Ball's time. This time pretty close to it, maybe a little bit off, but of course right now I don't want to say he's held up by Christopher by any means, but that could have a little bit of a factor to it. Actually, Stouffer last time by was the fastest, so maybe he's figuring something out. But good battle here second.
Yeah, these top 3 are definitely quick, and Ballesteros still sitting back in P9. I'm assuming haven't been watching him all that much, but I would assume he's past the 8 of Pena.
Yeah.
So I would assume he's not really taking much in the way of risk. He's also past Andrew Jamelin in the 44 as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys that have. I mean, I'm just super honest. I'm gonna be honest. I'm super surprised on how calm everything is right now.
Yeah, that looked like Ballesteros was labeled for the wall there. But it's. Again, you get guys driving around by themselves, as you see he's making a pass on our in-race reporter there, Patrica, to take over the 8th position. But yeah, once you get these guys spread out, and everyone's kind of racing on their own, they're not really getting hassled or harassed by anyone, you tend to see a very calm, collected race.
I want to show you guys something that's watching at home. You guys are seeing right now with Drew in the 22. He's actually driving a Ford Thunderbird. And one thing I noticed last week about these cars, not only the open face helmets that we all know about, but look at the seatbelt holders on the window nets. That is a Ford seatbelt clip that actually holds these window nets up. And the reason why I'm showing that, because I actually want to hop over to the Chevy, and as you ride on here with Coda, look at his window clips compared to the Ford. He's actually got 2 seatbelt clips that's actually labeled GM. And then even in the floorboard, he's actually got a fan that's pointed at his feet. Compared to the Ford, it's a lot different. But it goes to show how much detail was actually put inside of these race cars when they actually scanned it. That's little things that I picked up last week that I noticed. I mean, it was so cool seeing the clips and stuff. We got somebody actually coming off pit road.
Yeah, I was going to say it's the 12 car of Michael Bussell, whose race has just gone from bad to worse. You're talking 30, 40 laps ago, we're talking about him sitting in P3, and now he's going to be 4 laps down here in P16.
We got special bread over on YouTube since Tony Ball was in the wall. I think he's waiting on the 84 to hit the wall, and I'm going to be honest, I don't know if I see that happening anytime soon. He's out to a 1.2 second lead. I could be wrong. I mean, these things are tough to drive, but this battle for second is still going on.
Yeah, and I don't know, Special Bread, if you heard at the top of the broadcast, there's been 100, but coming into this race as Ben Bando takes over second place, 125 laps run going into this race, and Tony Ball's led 93 of them.
Once again, Derek Pemberton going, oh, he's making contact a little bit with the 11 car. Actually drives up on Coda's door and gets a little bit of contact with him. Just sends him up the track. Luckily, no damage, but Coda probably will remember that one, at least for now anyway. Derek does move to the 4th, but probably not going to make Coda too happy, and understandably so.
Yeah, going back to it right now, that looks... he's beside him. It looks, yeah, he just overdrove it. Yeah, he just overdrove it trying to make the pass.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that we've seen actually happen one time other tonight. We've seen that happen at the very first thing, first caution that we had. I believe that's kind of the same thing that happened. But trust me, Coda won't forget it, and Derek better learn from it because that's not a good way to pass.
Yeah, no, that's just. And that's a racing incident, I think is what they would call it.
By the way, never mind. For people wondering about the 51 of Jacob, who I said was 1 lap down, he did have to pit under green. He is now 5 laps down. If a caution was to come out, your lucky dog, never mind, is going to be on pit road. Daniel Rouse has hit pit lane, and I don't think this is scheduled.
I'm not sure, and I don't know how many more times Rouse could possibly pit. I think Rouse pit under the last caution as well.
Yeah.
And it's depending upon what he's going to do here. I can't see him having too many tires left. We still got 100 laps to go in this thing.
Yeah, and one thing I'm sitting here looking at...
he is taking tires.
One thing I've noticed, right now our top 11 cars have 32 laps on their tires.
There's a caution out somewhere here.
Oh, you are correct. And I believe it's Nicholas Post. Yep, the 6th.
Yes, it is in the 6th, yep.
Did he lose it? Looks like he may have lost it. That's what we're seeing a lot of tonight. A lot of people just getting tight later in the runs. Yeah, that's what happened. Once you hit that wall in his car, it looks like it just hooks you and keeps you in it.
If it's... I'm looking at it right now. Yeah, he just pushes up and...
That's tough.
Yeah, it is... I would say it's like the ARCA car with the way it sucks you into the wall, but that was just... He bounced that rear end off the safer barrier, and it just turned him nose first into the backstretch wall.
All right, guys, what we'll do, we'll let these guys hit pit road. We'll take a break, and we'll be right back right after this. You're watching the WOSCRL Throwback Series on ESPN.
I think he might have him. He's got the momentum. Don't wreck. They touch. They touch. They're slapping. They're banging. Larson got him.
Oh my goodness.
Are you kidding me? Got him.
Nope.
You're back on board with Norris, looking forward. Citroen Gebelana defends as they head up towards Abbey. He finds the really wet part of the road as well, but Norris will try the outside line, and he's done it. Fantastic.
Did you see how I avoided that crash? Did you see the skills? Did you see the momentum? The momentum, the skills, the speed, the speed!
Yes! Come on! Woohoo! Grande!
Hey everybody, I'm Rutledge Wood from
Don't know when to go. The WOSCRL Throwback Series is presented by CSODiecast.com. CSODiecast.com is an official retailer of Lionel Racing collectibles. Check out CSODiecast.com for some of the newest NASCAR diecast releases. While you're there, be sure to register on their website to receive exclusive membership benefits and savings. Race also sponsored by Manscaped. Get 20% off plus free shipping with the promo code WOSCRL at manscaped.com. Once again, that promo code WOSCRL at manscaped.com. And sponsored by Killer Brownie. Killer Brownie specializes in joy, extraordinary desserts for extraordinary people.
Not gonna lie with you right now, I could probably go for a brownie, and things look absolutely amazing. Check them out, killerbrownie.com. Yeah, man, set to go back green flag racing this time as we wait for the pace truck to drop off. With you in the booth, Adam Chapman, Frank Marchese with you in the booth once again here tonight. WSCRL League coming to the one to go this time. Tony Ball pretty much has been, I don't want to say dominant all night because he didn't lead. You know, there has been another leader, of course, but you got to give it up for Tony, doing a great job right now.
Yeah, we've had, as far as the duration of this race, it's really been the first half of these 80 laps was really dominated by the 22 of Drew Ballesteros, who's worked his way up after a speeding penalty back up to 6th. And then ever since then, it's been Tony Ball who has been once again staking his claim to the front of the field here.
Also, guys, in the chat, let me know. What is your favorite track to race in these cars? I mean, I know a lot of guys may have not have put these cars on other tracks. By the way, you see the inside line. That is lap cars, so keep that in mind. But let us know in the chat. What is your favorite track to race these cars on? And Frank, why don't you bring us back to the green flag?
Getting set to go once again here at Rockingham. Also, by the way, you look at the back of that inside line is Russell Bratka in the 74. Now he's going to be 59 laps down. Pace truck pulls off. Tony Ball pulls away, and we are back underway here at Rockingham.
Keep in mind, this is the old point system that we use here. We do not use the chase or anything like that. It's the old point system. So you never know, that just a little bit of points may help you. Battle right now. Derek Pemberton battle on a lap car, actually. I thought that was actually for position. It is not. So we're just watching him right now as he is able to get around the 27. You do see the 15, Benjamin Shelton, who actually did have a little bit of trouble early. He was very fast early at the start of the race. He qualified for it and kind of dropped back on his restarts. But here he is working his way back inside the top 5 right now.
If these cars are really difficult to get a competitive restart if you're not the control car, because first gear is too high to restart in and second gear is too low to restart in, so you really have to time it right, as Benjamin Shelton goes right past Derek Pemberton as if he was standing still.
Yeah, that going. He did. Woo! Not only did he go past him, he cleared him by about 3 cars on the backstretch. So not sure what happened to Derek Pemberton, but
It was a power run.
Up front, battle for the lead.
Yeah, we do. Chris Stouffer taking a little bit of a look under Tony Ball.
Better watch out for Bando. I feel like Bando is one of them guys that still maybe.
Yeah, he's the lurker.
Yeah.
He'll lurk around until it's time to pounce, and he'll get you.
So far, I'm seeing some comments come in. I asked, what is your favorite track to drive these cars in? Pate says North Wilkesboro so far, but Phoenix was also a lot of fun in a test session. Phoenix would be a fun place to run these cars.
Yeah, and in an official capacity, I mean, these cars have run at Watkins Glen during week 13.
Best of luck.
No, I mean, it was a great test. Car
How was
never.
it?
It really wasn't that bad if you actually knew what you were doing.
There you go.
It wasn't too bad. So, but as far as the official capacity goes, they've only run these cars at Daytona, Talladega, and North Wilkesboro. So for some, this might be your first look at these cars at a track that's not one of those three.
I'm sitting here looking at the schedule. We actually do go to Watkins Glen in August in these cars. But I'm sitting here actually looking. I forgot. We actually come back to Rockingham in August. So this is our first of 2 trips here. So we get an idea of what to expect for future races when we're watching this race. Not bad.
Yeah, no, not at all. But don't look now. Benjamin Shelton has driven right up to the back of these guys. He has left Drew Ballesteros for chips, and he is now right on the back of Ben Bando.
Very impressive. I'm not going to lie. Derek actually falling back to 7th a little bit, so he's kind of falling back in the middle of this run. But our top 3's checking out a little bit, but Sheldon, I mean, he's closing in on these 3 as well. We're getting ready to have a 4-car battle for this lead.
1 through 4 are separated by a second. It's another 2 3/4 back to Drew Ballesteros in 5th.
That's impressive. By the way, since we did not show it, there's a look at your weather. This track temp is not cool by any means. It's a 109-degree track surface right now as you see the 13 driving up to the back of the 84, maybe trying to put a bumper to him.
Yeah, it's going to start getting a little chippy now.
Yeah.
You're getting a little bit later in the race. We're past halfway. Stouffer's getting pressured from behind, so he's going to try to pressure the 84 into possibly making a mistake. I would not be surprised if Tony Ball's trying to save a little bit of tire. 13 trying to force him into overworking his car.
Yeah, you're looking back right now. We got the 360. We're on board with Tony Ball right now. And one cool thing about this, we can kind of just look around the whole 360. But you see right here behind him, Chris Stover, and you got Bandu right there, and then Sheldon right there as well. You know, I'm actually surprised on how much banking. I forgot how much banking this track actually had.
Yeah.
Quite a bit.
Well, then again, I mean, NASCAR, other than that one-off trip by the Truck Series about 5 or 6 years ago, they have not been here in a very long time.
Yeah, when was the last Cup race at Rockingham?
I would have to assume it would have been in the mid-2000s.
I think you might be right. I think Jeff Gordon actually won it. I'm going to find out. Oh, February 2004.
Yeah, I was just going to say February 22nd, 2004.
And it looks like Matt Kenseth actually won. Actually,
yes,
he only won by
did.
0.010 seconds. So, one of the closest finishes ever. And they decided not to come back. Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, end on a high.
Yeah. Here's Derek Pemberton, by the way, battling for 6th place once again. I know Josh Pena, who's done a good job. He did get a little bit of trouble earlier at that was not Josh Pena that got in trouble. It was a car similar to his. It was the 3 car, I believe, that got in a little bit of trouble earlier. I do see some damage, however, on that 8 car, but doing a good job here. Still up inside the top 10, running 7th right now.
Yeah, he had that spin a little bit earlier, and he's been able to stay on the lead lap, kept himself up there in the top 10. Has Pena there running in 7th.
Yeah, everybody right now spaced out. Our closest battle right now, well, as soon as I say that, it would be 2nd and 3rd's our closest battle. But pretty much everybody's spaced out besides our top 3 right now.
The top 3 only separated by a half a second. Now Benjamin Shelton, we spoke earlier about probably the 12 having done it and the 11 having done it, running the tires off the car a little too early as the caution comes out.
Andrew, the 44 has went around, and it looks like this may be the same kind of incident we've seen earlier with someone else. I forgot who it was off the top of my head, but yeah.
The 51.
Yeah, it looks identical. That hit the same way, almost the same identical movement.
Yep, just drove it in too deep, make one mistake, and these cars are going.
The 51 went by him. He's like, I've been there. I already know. So, caution is going to come out. So, let me ask you a question. Do you pit for tires here? 18 laps so far in this. And you got,
You're later in the race. You can afford to be a little less frugal with the tires. And I think Tony Ball has decided that.
Oh, yeah, never mind.
Thank you, Tony. We'll discuss you making a liar out of me a little bit later on in the week.
I do want to go ahead and bring back in Bobby Patrico once again. He's our in-race reporter right now, currently running in the 10th position. Bobby, it's Adam and Frank up in the booth. You got us?
Yes, sir. Got you guys.
Start of 14th, man. The race actually going pretty smooth for the most part, at least for your end anyway. Car looking pretty good. How's it handling now?
Well, after that first pit stop, I made a brake bias adjustment to try to stop it from locking up going into one the way I was, and it definitely helped a lot. So I'm not quite as tight going into the corner. You're just trying to conserve the right front. The second run was definitely a lot better.
Yeah, and we're starting to see some green flag runs. Is the car still getting really tight on the longer runs, or has it kind of evened up since you made that adjustment?
As you go on, it's still getting a little tight as you go along. It really depends on when you fire off the restart, how hard you push it. I've noticed that some of these guys, they push real hard for the first couple laps, and it looks like they start to kind of come back towards me a little bit, whereas I'm trying to take it just a little bit easier and not destroy the tires in the first 5 laps of the race.
For sure. Frank, you got any questions for him?
I actually don't at this stage. You've been having a very nice, solid run there, Bobby.
Yeah, thank you guys. I just got to mention everybody in this race tonight has been outstanding. Just everyone's been giving each other space. I just got to give everybody else in the race that of course I'm going to curse it now, but everybody's been really cool. The lap cars haven't been trying to be in people's way. The lap cars, the 27, we've come across him a couple times. He's down a couple laps, but he's been really courteous to all of us. So yeah, everybody's just been really, really respectful tonight, and it makes the race a lot funner when it goes that way.
It does. We was talking about that in the broadcast a little while ago. It looks like a lot of these guys are just having fun, still learning the car a lot, but a lot of respect being given, which is a great thing for the league in general. So, hey, keep doing what you're doing, man. We'll check back in with you, try to here in a little bit.
All right, sounds good, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
There you go. Back up front, the pace lights, I think, are going to go off this time. Nope, still on. I did also see somebody commented over on the YouTube channel and said that Rockingham 2 was actually replaced by Bristol. Was that in real life, or was that for this league? I'm not sure. Because actually, I don't see Bristol on the schedule. So did they replace Bristol in this league that was scheduled to be Rockingham, which is a possibility? I don't know. Either way, Pocono next week. How do you feel about taking these cars to Pocono?
It's going to be an exciting race. I think I'm not sure which is going to be more interesting. Watching these guys now. Is it the Legacy Pocono or is it the actual Pocono?
Well, that's a good question. I'm not sure either. I would guess Legacy. I would guess.
Because there is a difference, for those of you who don't know. There is a difference between the Legacy Pocono and the actual Pocono. The actual Pocono, which is the scanned version of what NASCAR is actually going to be going to next week. The groove is up off the grass now, for those of you who haven't seen it. And in the Legacy, it's down on the grass in turn 1 this
it's
being.
Dangerous. I'm not sure, actually.
Well, it's very, very interesting in that regard.
Yeah, I'm not quite
but
sure
depending upon which one, turn 1 is going to be very interesting. But no matter which
Tunnel
one
turn.
they go to, yes, the tunnel turn is going to be calamity corner. I can feel it.
In these cars, I could see that happening too, especially with as tight as these cars are already tonight. And if we know that they're probably going to be tight next week as well, I could definitely see that being the issue corner that we have. We are set to go back green, by the way.
I was going to say, as Skylar just put in the chat, it's going to be Legacy Pocono next week.
Okay, there you go. By the way, Derek Pemberton commented on Facebook, said his arms are killing him. Imagine how they was in real life back then.
You had to be an athlete to
Gotta
drive one of these cars, man.
Green flag is coming back out. So there we go, green flag. We'll be talking about Pocono here again in just a moment. But right now, we'll watch the battle.
I got to learn from my mistake. I keep focusing on Tony on these restarts. Meanwhile, by the time anything happens, he's off and gone.
I do the same thing. Like, usually I watch the leader so we can get the camera on him. But in a way, it's kind of pointless because he's gone, so quick. It's kind of pointless to watch him that early.
And that's not just Tony. Drew was doing the same thing. It's like I said before, you have to get the jump on these restarts because first gear is too high to restart in and second gear is too low to restart in.
Yeah.
So it's really when you know you're going to go, you're going to get a big lead.
And I want to get your thoughts on that. A lot of people don't like the leader being able to launch anytime they like. I like it because I think the leader should have an advantage. Ben, he's there for a reason. And so I say give the leader advantage. Do you like the idea that they could go anytime when the pace car drops, or would you prefer the green flag?
I think the restart box should be enforced.
I agree.
You don't
I can
have
see
to
that.
go necessarily in like when the green flag goes, but at least some point in the restart box.
Have
That's
its own,
yeah.
Yeah, I can definitely understand that. I can see that as well, which is another good opportunity. I think the leader, should be able to fire off at least somewhere, whether it be a restart box or any time when the pace car drops. I'm fine with that. He's got to have some sort of advantage. So I like the idea of a restart box, though. It's not a bad idea. Right now, by the way, Nicholas Post would be your lucky dog if a caution was to come out. Knock on wood, because nobody wants that to happen. But I don't know. Some of these drivers probably do with their arms feeling like Jello, Derek Pemberton. But some of these guys probably would pull for it. But Nicholas Post would be the lucky dog right now. Andrew at the 44 is 2 laps down. Daniel Rouse is currently 3 laps down, back in 15th.
Yeah, then Jacob Wilbury sitting there 4 laps down. Michael Bussell sitting 12. Skylar Grissom is 55 laps down. And then Russell Bratka had been sitting on pit lane really since lap 4. Got out there before this last run, sitting stone dead last, but 59 laps down, and he is running.
Yeah, actually, getting ready to take over 18th. He's only 2 laps away from taking over 18th. Or actually, 1 lap now from taking over 18th from Skylar Grissom, so that's an extra point. One other thing that I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, and just think that P3 and 4 finishing at Daytona right now are sitting 18th and 19th, and go figure P1 and 2 at Daytona are sitting P1 and 2 right now as Ben Bando takes over second place.
He just took over second
from Chris Stouffer.
That was a great pass, by the way. But that was some of the respect that was given that Bobby mentioned. You can kind of see them respecting each other, which was really good. By the way, the 12 or the 3 cars on pit road. That's interesting. He is now 1 lap down.
Yeah, Lawrence Shaughnessy has not had the greatest of races in that 3. Just been kind of mired in the midfield. He's been staying on the lead lap, but not today, as he looks really slow.
Yeah, really slow.
Getting to his box.
We'll see if he comes back out of what's going on. I'm not sure. That's definitely not scheduled, or I wouldn't expect it to be. So we are past the lap 100 mark.
The only thing I can think of is maybe he ran out of fuel, but I can't see that as being a possibility.
Yeah, right now
for him being that slow, at least.
I'm seeing him taking tires. You're not going to come down unless something big happened. I mean, he didn't get no penalty that I thought. But he's sitting there for a while, so maybe there was a penalty he had to come down and serve.
Might have. I'm going to go back and look through his last couple laps here. But what was the most alarming about it was just how slow he was going through pit lane.
Oh, we got the 15 around here as well, and the caution will come out. Benjamin Shelton did go around. Let's see what happened. He was racing the 22, and there was contact. Yep, the 22 sliding up and get a little bit of contact. That was Drew that actually slid up there and make a little bit of contact with the Benjamin Shelton car, and a couple of close calls.
Yeah, and Drew Ballesteros in the 22 really dove that one in deep. You saw how sideways he was going into that corner. He overcooked that to try to force himself under that 15, and unfortunately for Benjamin Shelton, it just it ended up on the wrong side.
I was sitting here looking. I'm very interested to see how many tires that they get, how many sets of tires that these guys get next week. I feel like 5. I feel like we may get less than 5 next week.
I think 5 may have been the limit here because of how badly the tires degrade here. I wouldn't be surprised at all if they decided to come in now.
Well, I can tell you right now, we did have 2 cars stay out. Chris Stouffer and Jim Foskett stayed out. Everybody else hit pit road that I could see that was on the lead lap. So that's gonna make things
Stouffer made
interesting.
that dive at the last second. Stouffer wanted that lap led.
Yeah. So that's going to make things interesting. I'm going to be honest. 34 laps. That might be a gamble that Stouffer might have wished he didn't make.
Yeah, if I'm Stouffer, actually, is Ben Bando, I think, has beaten Tony Ball out.
Yeah, I'm seeing her looking. Yeah, he had, by the way, Nicholas Post stayed out as well. He has a little bit fresher tires than the two in front of him. Actually, Nicholas Post, I forgot, was actually a lucky dog, so he's going to the back. But Bandu had a faster pit stop, 23.4 to a 24.6. And total time on pit road was actually a second faster as well. So there's your difference.
Bando was right on Tony going into the lane.
Somebody had a great stop was the 20.9. Everybody else was 23 and higher.
Jeez.
Wow. But his entry, looking at his total time on pit lane was actually a second faster. That's it. But he was 3 seconds faster in his box, so he just had issues on pit lane itself. They're lucky because I think if he would have hit pit lane perfect, he may be the one that was in the lead.
And who was that had the 20-second pit stop? I'm sorry?
Drew did in the 22. Had 20.9 second.
I think he put that cheat code in. I remember the old NASCAR NASCAR Thunder games where you put in a cheat code and you get the Mr. Clean pit crew.
Oh, I remember him.
That was like 2 or 3 seconds quicker than everyone else. I think that's what he just pulled out.
There you go.
He pulled out an old Thunder plate.
I remember always seeing the ball men jump over the wall. They had the whole white outfit on and everything. Pate Albin commented and said, "I've learned that +2 and +4 on the offset saves his arms a lot." So there's some interesting stuff. And we got a lot of comments over on Facebook right now. Let's see. By the way, Skylar Grissom, Alabama. Nah, I know what the RTR means. We don't even want to talk about that.
And Lawrence actually chimed in on the YouTube chat. He said he got 5 minutes of damage fixed after the first caution just to blow it up. So
that's what happened. You said he was coming in pretty slow.
Yeah, I was gonna say the only thing. Tony Ball just put in the race chat. I am Kurt Busch 2011 on my pit crew right now, and I would have to assume that's his New Hampshire rant.
Yeah. JOKE. I remember that. I think that's like one of the most famous rants ever for a pit crew, by the way. He did. He lost quite a bit.
And that's saying something for Kurt. Kurt's had a couple of worldly rants in his time.
His girlfriend was a ninja. Did you know that?
I did not know that. No.
That's what he said. Oh. All right.
I'll tell you one thing I do know is that Stouffer and Foskett here.
Yeah.
Foskett's been running mid to back of the pack. I'm not really going to hold my breath on him staying up there, if I'm honest. But Stouffer's got to be hoping for a caution here.
I agree. I think if you stayed out, now it could work out good for the 47. But even way, I don't know. I feel like I think that's a mistake staying out. I'm just going to be honest.
You can't. You're sitting there. 30 laps on a set of tires.
37 now.
Yeah, no. I'm sorry, especially with how quick Bando and Ball, and now that Drew's back in the game, as the green flag comes out here at Rockingham, and as you would expect, Stouffer gets a huge jump.
Well, the 44 make it good.
Watch it.
What a save!
Ooh.
But
great save from.
Yeah, it really helped out Ball right there.
Yeah, that definitely did, and Bando, I'm sure, is going to be less than entertained by that.
Remember how we was talking about being friendly?
Trying to split the middle.
Remember how we was talking about being friendly earlier?
Yeah, no, that goes away after lap 100.
That may be gone.
And Ball is
there. It
that
goes
ball
on
and chain on the. Yeah, that ball and chain on the 47 there really showed.
I'm anxious to see the lap times between Tony Ball and Christopher, especially next time by. Never mind. I don't even have to look.
You know what,
I can
honestly,
tell
you can look this time, and I don't think it's gonna matter.
5/10 difference that lap. It's going to be more this lap.
Yeah, and that's only going to grow.
And Jim Voska unfortunately keeps falling back. He's now trying to hold on to fourth right now,
and again, he's been running in the midfield pretty much the entirety of this race to begin with, so he hasn't been a threat up at the front. It's going to be interesting to see how long Stouffer is going to be able to keep Ball behind him.
Let's see, this time 4/10 difference, and there's your difference. They reckon behind him, I think.
Here's another difference. Yeah, caution does come out, and the question is going to be, was Tony ahead when the caution came out? No, he's pulled back and allowed Stouffer to go around him.
Was this Michael Buss?
I guess it was. He's sitting on the inside.
Well, this was weird. Let's see. What happened? Oh, he blew up. Well, that ain't the caution, is it? He just blew up and gets on the apron. Was that the caution?
I would assume slow on the track, and I haven't seen anything else.
I don't see nothing as well.
And he blows up in the middle of 1 and 2 and just coasts it down.
Yeah, that had to be it.
And he's stopped in turn 4, at least the last I saw. He's towed it back now, but he was stopped in turn 4 when I caught him.
Yeah, that had to be what it was. By the way, it's a touchy subject that we was told to even mention, but, I don't like mentioning and calling people out. Tristan Ferris, unfortunately, the driver of the 10, was parked for 2 weeks for aggressive driving, so he will not be back until after Pocono. So hopefully he gets back in here. But we do want to thank everybody. We're getting a pretty good viewer count, it looks like, over on YouTube. So we want to thank everybody once again for tuning in. We got people saying, go Huskers. No, I'm going to be honest. Coda says go Vols. If I was going to lean anyway, it would probably be Tennessee Vols just because I'm from Tennessee. But I don't really get into college like I should. Go Tar Heels. Go Huskers. I'm going to be honest. I pull for whoever got the best looking uniforms.
There's only one team in college football that matters, and that is the Penn State Nittany Lions.
I don't mind them.
I will not accept any argument whatsoever.
I can't argue with it. I mean, if I was to pull for any college team, and I'm going to get a lot of hate because I already got the hate from my team for saying it, Notre Dame. I've always been, mainly just because I'm a Rudy fan, That's why. Like, there's no reason.
I'm interested here looking at Drew Ballesteros. He had just worked his way up.
And didn't pit
back up to the front. He is in pit road with front end damage.
You don't think that's where the caution came from?
I'm going back to look.
He does got quite a bit of front end damage, don't he? Actually, the whole side is pancaked in and back in. We might have to see if we can find this.
Yeah, we're looking back at it right now, and that's Steros with the 27. Oh.
Is that it? 'Cause I'm looking at it now as well.
Yeah, Pemberton turned him. He dove into one.
Oh, okay.
And I think if I heard that right, Bobby Patrica, our in-race reporter, queued up on us and said that the 82 of Pemberton's screen might have blacked out on him there.
Yeah, he definitely got into him. He went straight and definitely got into him. Possibility, but either way, it don't matter if the screen went black or not. You feel bad for the 22 because he was, let's just be honest, one of the fastest cars.
He led the first 40 some odd laps of this race. Then got a pit road speeding penalty, put himself in the back, and he had just worked his way back up into the top 5, and then that happens.
Todd Chase, or Derek Pemberton says LSU Tigers, and he also said that yellow was definitely on him. And Todd Chase wanted me to let you know that his favorite college team is Michigan State. So
I feel sorry for you.
And I believe he's a fan of Michigan as well, but Michigan State.
How could you be a fan of Michigan?
I may be wrong. I may be wrong if he's a fan of Michigan, but I know he's a fan of Michigan State for sure.
It's like being a fan of the Red Sox and the Yankees.
Oh God. Let's see. Josh Pena commented that I'm 4th. Yes, you are. He is a fan of Duke.
Congratulations, Josh.
Congratulations.
Spin to win.
Hey, you never know. Derek keeps racing like he does. You might be first. I'm joking, Derek. I'm joking. Let's see.
He
That's
wants
my
his
in-real life
interview, he's
friend.
saying.
The 22. Okay. Somebody says that's my real life friend, the 22. Josh, I would love to interview you, but for some reason I cannot pull people in right now. So
Yeah, you got two very technologically inept people in this booth.
Like I was telling Frank earlier, I'm lucky. Y'all are even lucky to get a show and a broadcast because I'm over here pushing buttons. Half the time I don't know what I'm pushing. So we don't know what we're actually going to show on the screen at some points. Don't ask me how I made it to 500 broadcast because I still don't know. No joke. I was broadcasting one time. And I ain't calling nobody out by saying it or nothing. I thought I actually went off stream. And I literally left my microphone on and forgot to hit end broadcast. I was over talking to my team just about random stuff. And my team, and when we start talking, it's probably not good for kids. So, there was some stuff said that probably shouldn't have been said.
It's the first rule of broadcasting. Whenever you're around a microphone, always assume it's on.
That is true. That's a good point.
Lesson that Kyle Larson will never forget.
Oh, God, you went there. You got a point, though.
Back racing again here at Rockingham.
God.
Tony Ball gets a nice jump. Ben Bando gets a nice jump. And I believe Pemberton was able to clear the lap car going into one.
He was. Josh Pena right now in that 8 car. We talked about him earlier. He's done pretty good. He's been solid. Running on Dakota right now.
And remember, he was backwards in the middle of turn 1 not that long ago.
Yeah, he's done a good job. Kind of rebounded here a little bit. Continue working his way forward. By the way, I want to mention Christopher did pit on that last caution.
Yes, he did.
So
which is why he's 7th, in the back.
Yeah.
Yes.
So right now working in 7th place into 13. And that could be good or it could be bad. It all depends on how this plays out for him. I feel like if we get a 20-lap run, it's one of them things that could play out bad for you because if he stays out, everybody else is going to pit. I don't know.
I don't know what the pit cycle as far as fuel goes, but he might actually have done a whirly here.
That's true.
If he could hold these tires and not really push the car, and this is a big if this goes green the whole way, I think Stouffer's in a very good position where he might not have to pit again.
Plus, he's got the freshest tires out of now everybody in front of him. Everybody in front of him has 15 laps. He's got 7, or 16 laps. He's got 7.
Yeah, but how many? Yeah, not many of those laps are are in anger. So he's getting under our in-race reporter Bobby Patrica there, trying to follow Drew Ballesteros through.
By the way, Drew right now would be the lucky dog if and when a caution comes out.
And the 44 is the only one on his lap, so he's got some wiggle room here.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a gap between about 3.5 seconds separating them two right now. So.
And Ballesteros actually ran 0.2 quicker than Stouffer on that lap. So whatever damage he got, and with how hard it looked like he hit that wall as he goes under the 11 of Coda McCroy.
He ran out while in traffic too.
It doesn't look like he hurt that car all that much.
He was faster than our leader that lap. Actually, he was the fastest in the field that lap. I think he's okay. He just needs to get a break.
So, son of a gun, just get shunted going into turn 1. You'll get the fastest car on the track. Pro Gamer Strats unlocked.
You said that there was a cheat code somewhere, didn't you?
You know what? I did.
I mean,
he's pulling out thunder plates all over the place tonight.
Hey, all he needs is yellow. Here's a car we haven't talked about, Luke Doran. He's inside the top 10. I haven't spoke about him, I don't think, once tonight. And here he is right now in 10th. And he started back in 17th. Actually just got passed for 9th place. But, hey, making the most of it. Might not be his favorite track. Doing a pretty good job right now in the top 10.
Would have expected a little bit better out of him. He was right up at the top during the practice session. Just unfortunately for him, that speed hasn't translated here. It looks like he's got a clean car. Just riding around, sitting there in 10th right now.
Let me tell you something, Todd, about them brownies from the killer brownie. Sorry, good Lord, I'll eventually get it out.
We'll figure words out eventually.
Yeah, words are tough, especially for me. The killer brownie. There we go. Let me tell you something about them. If you haven't checked them out, go look at them. KillerBrownie.com. They legit look like the best brownie in the world. I'm not going to lie. They look good. I'm just saying, whenever I negotiate a contract or whatever for broadcast, that might be the stipulations I make. I want a brownie.
I'm not a big chocolate guy.
Really?
I'll have like Kit Kats and Hershey bars,
Right.
but I'm not a big, that's a once in a while. Like every now and again, like every couple months, I'll get a craving for a Hershey bar, and then I won't have one again for a long time.
Yeah, I'm kind of both ways. Like, I can eat chocolate here and there, but I'm kind of the same way. They even make cookie dough brownies, though. Like, just saying.
Yeah, that they do.
Just saying. I mean, they make peanut butter. Okay, I need to get off this page. All right, we're getting off that page.
Getting onto the page of our leaders, however, Tony Ball and Ben Bando have checked out just the same way they did at Daytona. Bando currently sitting 0.3 of a second behind Tony Ball as we crossed the line the last time. This time he's about 100th closer.
Yeah.
Compare that to Derek Pemberton sitting at P3, who's 3.5 seconds behind the front pair.
That's crazy, man. Now, you brought up a good point a few moments ago. Fuel mileage. It is getting to that time where we have to mention it. We are on lap 131 now. They've been out there for 25 laps. I don't know. Is there enough fuel in the car? I don't know.
You know what? I think we've gotten to the point to where if there is a caution now, everyone's going to come in regardless. I think Stouffer's going to come in, even though he just came in. He's up to P4 right now. He just passed Josh Pena for P4. We've gotten to that point now where it doesn't matter. You're coming in on the next caution flag for tires, no matter what.
Yeah, I think. By the way, the 44 is back on pit road, so that would put Drew the only one a lead lap down right now. So tough break there for Andrew. By the way, here's the 11 and the 8 going at it. Coda and Josh side by side right in front of this 22 car.
I'm trying to look and see if anything happened to the 44 of Jamelin. It looks like he just peeled off for tires. I don't see him hitting the wall. He just looks like he peeled off for tires.
Beth over on Facebook, Beth Langston Smith said the 22 is driving the wheels off. I agree. I think he is. I think that if we get a yellow, I think a lot of guys better watch out because he looks fast. So,
yeah, but you got to think it took him 60 laps to get from wherever he was up into the top 4 again just to get wrecked out of it. But he's not going to have the luxury of that many laps. He's really going to have to push that number 22 forward.
I'm going to be honest. You better watch out for Chris Stouffer. If we do, I don't know
if we do go green, he does have the best. He's in the best shape right now.
100%.
You look at Stouffer, he ran a 26.4 that last lap. Compare that to our leader who ran a 26.3. So the leaders are still quicker than he is.
By the way.
Again, it comes down to the way he's saving the tires.
That's true.
Tony and Ben have been under absolutely no duress. And Stouffer's been working his way up through the field. So
maybe that's true. Yeah, maybe he's just pushing really hard, trying to get some of that track position back.
Yeah, we saw that with the 15 a little while ago. We saw it with the 51 earlier in the race, the 12 earlier in the race.
I want to mention
just
also
falling off.
Daniel Rouse has just hit pit road. He is in the box right now, so not sure what happened to the 27. I want to make sure I mentioned that.
Might be one of them scheduled deals here. Yeah, he just peels off, goes to the pit lane. Oh no, he hit the wall out of 2.
Wow.
Yeah, he drove it a little too hard off of turn 2, smacked the wall, came back in, banged it again, and then just hugged the apron all the way to pit lane.
Here's a battle right here, the 82 and the 13. 82, Derek Pemberton looks like he's going to go up to the high side. I think he knows that Chris is faster. I thought he was just going to let him have it, but Let's see. He may just let him have it. Yeah, he's going to back off right there and didn't let him go.
No, he's trying to keep
He's
that
trying. He was.
Hey, he didn't let it go.
Well, he actually looked back underneath. So, yeah, I think in that situation, he's faster. Just let him have it. You don't want to burn too much of your stuff off and let Coda and Josh catch up to the back of you. Let's see if you can maybe make something happen. In-race reporter Bobby Patrico running right here in front of Benjamin Shelton. Bobby's done a pretty good job. He actually didn't qualify that great. He said he had trouble in qualifying. Actually up to 8th right now from qualifying, so not bad.
Yeah, solid runs, just little moves. You see him working that high lane through 1 and 2. He's got the 15 of Benjamin below him now, and as he loses that position. And Benjamin has a quick car. He's got a lot of damage on that car, but he's got a quick one. He qualified at a 409 rather. He's qualified 4th, so he does have a quick car. Does that 15? Under all the damage.
Under all the damage. Not bad, actually. I thought, some of these cars, I mean, of course, they'd probably be faster if they didn't have the damage, but some of these cars, even with damage, it really hasn't affected them too much.
No, I think you could look at the 22 of Drew Ballesteros as being that key look. Is he's running lap times faster than the leaders after just being, let's face it, shown the barrier.
Yeah. I mean, you've seen his damage
a couple laps before.
That back end, looks pretty rough, but I mean, he's really fast, even though he's a lap down. Still needing a little bit of help. By the way, back up here, Jim Foskett, by the way, who we questioned on staying out, hasn't actually done too bad. Oh, Josh Pena hard.
Yep, Pena's in the wall. Yep, right there in the back.
That was luck. I'm going to be honest, because we've seen what happened earlier twice already when people hit that wall right there.
And Pena hit the wall in the same exact spot, and he ended up facing that outside wall. Same thing with the 51 earlier in the race. Did that same 15. Thing. Yeah, and the 15 as well. You're right.
So we
somehow able to keep it in front of Shelton.
Yeah, that was. I hate saying luck, but
sometimes it's better to have luck than skill.
Every time we've seen it, it's been that car facing their own way. So it's one of them things. I don't think this race for the lead's over, by the way.
No, I know. Like I said, I know these two. They're gonna have a nice, friendly little scrap for this win when it comes down to it. We've got just over 20 laps to go here. These two are sizing each other up, and if everything goes green, these two are going to have a nice little run for the win.
So, here's what's interesting to me. These guys have been out here 39 laps. Keep in mind, some of this is caution laps. We got 21 laps coming to 20 to go. That's a lot of time on them tires.
It is. But you're looking right now, Tony Ball this time by runs a 26.479.
Like the lap times really haven't
screwed up here.
I guess they've fallen off, but one issue that they're going to have is we're catching lap traffic here soon.
It does look like, from what we've seen, it looks like, again, the qualifying times, pole time was a 24.313.
Nope.
And we're now running time solidly in the 26s, so they've fallen off by 2 seconds.
Another thing,
it just doesn't look like they fall off much more beyond this.
Something else I'm looking at, I popped up the track temp just now. The track temp's actually cooling down. Now we're at 102. It was 109 when I checked earlier. Not sure if it's making a big difference, but I'm sure it helps.
It will make enough of a difference. Yeah. And that's all you need to do is to make enough of a difference.
So that track temp keeps going down. We may be under 100 before the end of this race. Like, honestly, from what I'm seeing, if it keeps dropping. By the way, here we go with the lap traffic of Tony Ball.
Yeah, both Tony and Bando were in the 26.4s. Stouffer was a 26.6. Pemberton's a 28.8.
Pena on the pit road.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised with that, if I'm honest. But McCroy and Ballesteros both in the 26.7s. So they're all kind of running equal to each other. Yeah. It's, as you would imagine, the top two are the two quickest ones.
Patricia and Luke Doran, they are battling it out. This is for the 8th position. Doran right now able to hold that spot.
We said it. Well, I said it on Monday night during the Paskey's truck race with Sam. Is a quiet race sometimes doesn't always mean a bad race.
Not always, yeah.
And Luke Doran has had one of those very quiet, very solid races.
Reminds you like a Matt Kenseth top, like honestly.
Yeah.
Just you never know.
Just because we don't mention him a lot doesn't mean he ain't having a good
It's
day.
not a bad
And
thing.
He's having a solid day.
If we don't mention you, that's usually a good thing. Because we talk about a lot of drivers that wreck when we mention you.
Speaking of another guy we haven't mentioned much, Nicholas Post. He is a lap down right now. He is the first car one lap down. So Drew Ballesteros has to find him and pass him if another caution were to come out. And right now, he's got about a half a track on Ballesteros. This is the 6 of Nicholas Post.
That's what Drew did not want. He did not want Tony to catch lap traffic.
No, he did not. We got a look here at Pemberton and the 11 now of Coda McCroy.
Yep, this is for 5th.
Pemberton, I would not be surprised if something happened to that 82 because when he come into this, when he come into this picture, he was slow on the inside and wrecking now.
What? Okay, no idea how that happens. Okay, good job, good driving. that should have been done.
Pemberton tried to clear himself around McCroy in the 11, and now the caution comes out.
Yeah, the caution is out for Nicholas Post, and now that changes things.
That will give Ballesteros.
Yeah.
Oh, watch as he's rolling down the track. That will give Ballesteros the lucky dog because the guy who brings out the caution is not the lucky dog.
By the way, that wreck looked very familiar.
Oh, did it now?
Yep, we've seen it twice already, at least tonight.
It's with the way his car was parked, that would lead me to believe.
Oh gosh, that was a close call, wasn't it? When he pulled up.
He had a couple both rolling back down and then rolling up.
He was. I thought he was going back into 51 as well. So
yeah, he had a couple of close calls rolling that car.
Do you pit? I think you have to.
Yeah, you have to pit at this stage. There's no advantage to staying out at this point. But I think these guys, the leaders, you're talking about Ball and Bando and Stouffer and Pemberton, these guys all should have. If my count is right, they should have 2 sets left.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because I don't think they pitted very much. I think you're right. I'm looking, everybody right now on the lead lap has pitted so far. Waiting to see if Gordon comes in, who I believe, he is. So everybody will pit.
And they're all in.
You want to talk about a lucky break for the 22?
Yeah, definitely. It's not just the fact that the caution came out, it's who brought out the caution.
Yeah.
That was the lucky bit of it.
There's the race off pit road. By the way, Derek Pemberton taking 2 tires.
That's, oh boy.
Gambling. Now, there's 2 ways to look at this, and I'm always honest about it. There's 2 ways to look at it. Personally, is it a smart idea?
You know what? Honestly, you're gonna have about 7 or 8 laps to go by the time the green flag comes out.
Is it a gamble you're willing to take? That's the thing. Now, if you win, hey, you're a genius.
Honestly, for me, it wouldn't, because where would he have come out? He would have come out in 4th.
See, that's what I think. I think
so it's only a 3-position gain. Like if he come in 8th or 9th, then different. I would understand. It's a great run.
I say even if you would have finished 4th, that's a great finish.
Yeah, I did the same thing in an NIS in an A Open race. I was running in the mid pack the whole time. Took 2 tires, ended up finishing 2nd.
It's a big gamble.
Yeah, at Chicagoland especially, but here this is I don't know. I think they might have left too much time.
Yeah, from what we've seen earlier with now that was a 4 tires and 2 tires, 4 tires and no tires. I understand that, but still, I still think that I think I would have took 4.
Yeah, I would have as
I would have
well.
took 4.
If there were going to be like 3 or 4 laps to go,
It'd be different, yeah.
yeah, then yes, I would agree with the 2 tires. But you're talking about 7 to 8 laps left.
Because there's a chance you may
When you
not even
take this
finish in
green.
4th now. Like there's a chance you may not finish. There's a chance you may not finish this race on a lead lap period.
Yeah, and especially with guys like
Ball,
Stouffer,
yeah.
Stouffer and Bando, these guys have been the quickest guys all race long. And now you're giving them free reign, fresh tires, don't have to worry about saving them.
Basically a sprint.
Exactly. They're going to show every bit of what their cars can
Now,
do.
Do we have green, white checkers? Because I'm not sure. I don't think so, but I can't. I don't know.
Skylar, the YouTube chat, if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah, because that would be nice to know. I'm not sure.
I believe there's at least one.
One probably would be right. I don't know if we have any more than that.
Oh, there are none. Woo.
Okay, so that makes sense. So
Pemberton is hoping somebody gets really frisky here on this restart.
yeah, Rex, like he wants cautions now. Like, let's just be honest. I mean, you can't blame him. If he gets cautions, it works out great.
He has a 1 to 2 lap buffer.
Yeah.
Because he's going to be the control car, and the control car all race long has gotten out to that big jump.
Big jump. Yeah.
So he's got a lap and a half to 2 laps worth of buffer before he's going to have to start fending off Tony and Stouffer and Bando. It's going to be really interesting. He's going to need a caution to come out like right as Tony is going to pass him.
Yeah. And the thing is, I understand that everybody behind him, including himself, is going to be super aggressive. You would think.
Oh yeah, no, there's no more give and take now. There's no more being cordial. This is for the win.
This right here is where you make enemies. Just saying. We're about to find out. Oh boy, I'm getting a little nervous here, boys.
This is going to be fun.
Pace truck set to drop in. There it goes. Green flag's out.
Yep, and there goes Stouffer. He did not get a good jump, and neither did Stouffer in the 13. He didn't get a good jump at all as Bando goes to his outside.
And by the way, up front for the lead, 84, right on the bumper of that 82.
Yeah, that was the worst case scenario for Pemberton as Stouffer was able to fend Bando off. And he runs Tony down. Oh, there they go.
Well, remember how we talked about friends?
Oh, there's the 15 of Sheldon.
Remember how we was talking about friends being made? Let's just say
7 laps to go. It looks, from my calculations, there's still time to get a couple of laps worth of green flag racing in.
Yeah, this is basically an unofficial green light checker. Yeah, that situation, I think Derek, you got to let it go. Whether for the win or not.
You can't let him go. I'm sorry.
You don't think you can either?
That was rash defending from him. However, you're racing for the win late in the race. It was rash. It was a little bit of an overstep, but it was still. You can't fault him for trying to block less than 10 laps to go.
No, you can't. But the only downside to all this, some people over here cheering for some. I don't know.
I think there's a lot of people in the chat that have.
They're pretty happy. Some people happy, some people not.
They've put the Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson, Kyle Busch banner on Tony Ball. Anyone but him after the way he dominated not just Daytona but this race as well.
So Pemberton said he thought more people would actually come for 2. That's understandable. I can understand that.
I could have thought. If there was anyone I think that would be willing to take that gamble, it would have been the 13.
Yeah. Towards the middle of the back, I could see that happen. Yeah, the 13 because we've seen him stay out earlier on no tires.
Yeah, that and he had come in the caution after all of these guys had come in.
Here's where things get interesting for me. The 13 hasn't had great restarts. Bandu has. Pemberton got an okay start that time. Stouffer has to really be on his start game here.
His start wasn't bad. It was Tony's reaction to his start that was what really put Pemberton in a major duress.
Yeah. Let's see. We got people. Somebody says, Derek, that is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. Somebody said, I need another replay. Let's see. Tony Ball to the wall. Glad you're reading chat. I can't read that last one. Dang, he turned down on Tony.
Yeah, he did. He did take a little swing going down on Tony. That's.
And then
I did notice that watching the stream.
You can read the YouTube chat. I don't really need to read it to you because I can't say all that. But everybody gets the idea. There's different opinions. I mean, let's be honest. That really, can you, like you said,
it's a racing incident.
You can't blame Derek. And like I said, should Derek have gave him the spot?
If there were 70 laps to go, then yes, that's ridiculous. Shouldn't be done. But there's 7 laps to go, fighting for the lead. That's a racing incident.
And I'm not going to lie. I don't know if Derek's going to race, but
here's the thing you do have to think of with Pemberton. He's already taken somebody out trying to race him.
Yes.
Does that mean is he going to be as aggressive trying to block off Stouffer or Bando now that he's already wrecked somebody?
I say if you did, you might as well go ahead and go all out. You might as well just defend the bottom. I'm going to be honest. I think if you defend the bottom, if you're Derek, I think you got a chance. Make the other cars go on the outside. Unless Stouffer... Uh-oh.
Is he coming in? What is he coming in for?
Did he get parked? Oh, well.
Tony Ball has said in the race chat saying I was there. I haven't seen a black flag show up unless this is a self-imposed black flag, which is, weird. That's beyond charitable.
Yeah, I wouldn't have came in.
Yeah, he's not going into a box. He's stopped at the pit. He's stopped at the pit exit.
Yeah, he self-imposed the penalty. Wow.
That is a charitable deed.
That was a little bit too friendly.
Yeah, not one that I'm sure I would have made.
I've never seen that before in a live broadcast.
That's...
Maybe it's just Derek new to the league. Maybe he don't want to make too many enemies. Maybe.
I mean, and that's understandable, but that's one of the darndest things I've seen in all of my 2 weeks of live stream broadcasting.
Yeah, that's crazy. Green flag is back out, but well, you got the full clip because
I think we've got 1 lap to go here. If Bando's going to do it, he's got to do it now.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't realize that was a 1 lap shootout. White flag is out.
Bando got a nice little jump there. It looks like it's going to be Stouffer. That is way too far back for Bando to try to make a move. And coming off of quarter number 4, it is going to be a race to the line, but it is going to be Stouffer who wins after some late race controversy here at Rockingham.
Very interesting. So Bando does come in second. By the way, Coda McCrory does finish in third. Hey, we questioned Jim Foskett as well. He finishes 4th. Good for him. But here's your winner. Chris Stouffer picking up the win here tonight from Rockingham. Wow. I'll be honest, I don't know what to say. Oh, Derek Pemberton came down because he reached his X limit.
Oh, there you go.
So there's the reason why. So he finishes 10th. He did not want to get another incident, so he'd be disqualified.
Okay.
I say you gotta stay out. Anyway.
Yeah, but like I said, you're going to put yourself right back in that risk.
Now, was there an incident limit? Like, if he was to reach the incident limit, was it a stop and go?
I'm not sure. It might have been
it may have been what it was.
It might have been a DQ.
Yeah. Either way, Christopher, that's who we're talking about. He picks up the win. 15 laps led the most important one. Ben Bandu finished the second. Cody going to finish third. We're going to try to get some interviews. Keep in mind, it might take us a moment. Because, we don't really know who everybody is, or we can't pull everybody in. Give me just a second.
I think we've got them. Oh, I'm sorry, that's Patrika's the last one in here.
Hold on, let me bring this back up. Okay, I think Maker Bayfield is Chris, right?
No, that's Bando, I believe.
Okay, well, we can go ahead and talk to Bando until Chris gets in here. So
we got Coda in here if you want to go 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, we'll start with him. Cody, it's Adam and Frank up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, what's up?
Nothing much, man. Finishing third tonight. Not bad, to be honest. Talk us through your night. Overall, not a bad night. You actually started in 6th place.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take it. I didn't practice at all this week, honestly. Didn't even turn a lap until the server went up tonight, so I guess I can't complain.
Talk us through this racetrack. It definitely was a lot smoother than Daytona. It looked like these cars was actually very fun to race here tonight.
Yeah, we ran the old Daytona, the Legacy Daytona, and it's rough. And tonight, though, that track, it just chewed up tires. I think the race went a lot smoother tonight also, but tires were they went away if you burn them up after about 10 laps.
Either way, it worked out really good. Frank, do you have a question for our third place finisher?
Getting into that late race scenario, you've been running up at the front to the mid pack. Going into that's what turned out to be the second to last restart. What was your game plan? I would assume just go for it.
Yeah, I mean, I was just going to send it. But I mean, honestly, Tony, I mean, he was the class of the field tonight, and I barely seen what happened up there with him. Looked like he just kind of went low and was there, and the other car came down. But I mean, yeah, I think all in all, it was a real good race tonight for everybody for the most part. I
agree as well, man. Anyway, you want to give shout outs tonight? I mean, it was a fantastic job by everybody tonight.
No, not really. I know I had some people watching the race. Had one guy who's deployed watching it, so shout out to Sean if he's still watching.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. Thank you for your service as well, Sean. If you're still watching, Coda, good job tonight, man.
Appreciate it. Y'all have a good one.
Thanks a lot, buddy.
Congratulations, bud.
Next up, Ben Bandu, who finishes in P number 2. Started 15th, finished in 2nd. Definitely had a chance there at the end to get the win, but finished in 2nd. Still not a bad night. Ben, you got a copy?
Hey, what's up?
Nothing much, man. Finished in 2nd tonight. Almost had a chance there coming off turn 4, come up just a little bit short, but all in all, it wasn't a bad night for you as far as points go.
Yeah, it was a really good night. We missed qualifying. We started in the back. We worked our way up to the front, and I was hoping for a long run, but we just never really got it. I felt like that was going to be my strength. That was really the only way I was going to be able to get around Tony, but didn't quite get there. We had a solid run there towards the end, but I think that was my only real chance at a win right there is if we went green to the complete end. But unfortunately, that caution came out and kind of changed things up.
Yeah, so I got to kind of shift gears a little bit on you here. We go from this track to a much bigger track at Pocono, definitely a lot different. How do you feel about heading there? And it is the old Pocono as well.
I really like Pocono. I like road courses, and I feel like Pocono with the 3 turns sometimes kind of feels like a road. It's a big super speedway, but you got the turns that you got to slow down in. So I'm looking forward to Pocono. Sometimes it can be hard to get some good runs at Pocono, but I think I'm looking forward to it.
Frank, I know you got a question for Ben as well, I believe.
Yes, I do, as a matter of fact. That last restart, when it came down to just that one lap shootout with you and Christopher, did you think it was more just your car wasn't good on a short run? Or do you think it was the restart that kind of put you back to that position to where you're really fighting from behind?
Well, I got a good restart on that last one, but I was kind of struggling through 1 and 2 on the restart the whole race, and I just didn't turn in early enough. which got me too far behind him, and I just wasn't close enough going into 3 and 4 to get that run on him to have a chance.
Either way, man, it works out good putting in second place tonight. You want to give shout outs tonight?
I'd just like to thank you guys for doing the broadcast and my teammate Tony Ball for help.
Hey, good job tonight, man.
Congrats, bud.
Thanks.
Thanks a lot, buddy. Next up, we go to our big winner leading 15 laps. 15 laps. Chris Stover putting in victory lane here at Rockingham tonight in that very nice number 13 Goodyear car. Chris, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
So I want to be honest. There was a point where I questioned you for staying out, and well, you proved me wrong. Put it in victory lane. That's not a bad night at all.
Well, I got a little lucky on that call. I wanted to get off sequence because we only had 2 sets of tires left, but it didn't work out for me. I was able to get back up to 3rd place by passing a bunch of people there on that after that restart, but it wasn't the right call because I was sitting there in 2nd behind Tony for a good chunk of the race. I got beside him once and I almost got up into him. So I just backed out and was just content to ride in 2nd until the end. But yeah, I made the wrong call there and had to fight through traffic, got back up there, and it worked out at the end with the last caution.
Let's be honest. Points in this series mean quite a bit every race because there is no chase. It's basically a points race, a legit, older style point system. Do you think about that early in the season? I know we're just now starting out. It's only our 2nd race here, but are you already thinking a little bit about that?
Well, every race, you just take it one race at a time. You want to maximize your points every week. But yeah, for sure. I mean, last week at Daytona, I was pretty upset getting wrecked out there, and I knew I had a car. It was at least a top 5 car, if not better. But yeah, you just got to take it one race at a time, try to maximize your points each week. It's a marathon, not a sprint when you're talking about the championship. And I think that's the way the format should be. I like it that way because it rewards consistency more than it does just wins or anything else.
For sure, man. Frank, you got any questions for him?
Just really quick before we let you go and celebrate this victory, since you were off sequence before that last round of pit stops, was it a thought in your mind to go and take 2 tires there, seeing that you were on fresher tires than anyone around you?
Well, I thought about it. One thing that was going through my head was I wanted to have tires at the end of the race if we went all the way to the end, and I think with that that caution that we're talking about, the one right before it, where I stayed out, about 60 some laps left to go at that point. So I knew the tires would be shredded and I'd be hanging on there if we went green for 60 laps. We had enough fuel to do it, but having enough tires was what I was wanting to. I wanted to be safe. I wanted to play it safe that way. And,
yeah, we mentioned that in the broadcast as well about the tire fall off and stuff.
Yeah, and I was doing some practice runs, and depending on how hard you drove it, you could drive the tires off of it. So that was the main thing I was looking at there, was just making sure I had tires for the end of the race. And I did think about taking 2 tires, but I said, hey, you know what? I made up positions. I'm back to 3rd. Let's just go ahead and take 4, and let's race it out. And it worked out. I feel bad for Tony with what happened there. I tried to miss him, and after he was spinning, I know I got a little bit into him, but still, it was a rough night for a finish for him. But I'll take the win any way I can get it, I guess.
Hey, take it any way, man. You got to get them any way you can earn them. So good job tonight. You definitely earned it. Any shout outs you want to give out tonight?
Just shout out for the guys running the league. Thanks. It's a lot of fun. And for you guys up here in the booth for what you're doing.
Thanks a lot, buddy.
Thank you. Congratulations, bud.
All right. Last but not least, I want to bring our in-race reporter in for the final time. Bobby Patrica, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you guys.
Finishing 8th tonight, starting 14th. Overall, talk about your race a little bit. Are you happy with it? Not so happy with it? Did you learn anything that could help you with future races?
Overall, I think eighth was about where I was most of the night. I had an incident there on that real long run we had towards the end. I was racing with the 8 car, and I think he had something fail. I just went back and looked at the replay, and I went to go around him around the outside, and I thought I gave plenty of room, and for whatever reason, when he went in the corner, he just went straight. But he was completely off the throttle. It wasn't anything he did. But it damaged me a little bit, got me in the wall. So when we had that caution, I basically was tail end of the lead lap and just didn't get a chance to actually run up there any further. But yeah, like I said, eighth was honestly about where I was most of the night.
So overall, it wasn't a bad race for you. Points wise, I know it wasn't the greatest night, but still 8th place. I mean, not bad considering there was 19 drivers in here. Top 10 finish, not a bad night. How do you feel heading next week to Pocono?
We shall see. I have not had a chance to. I'm not sure if we're running Legacy Pocono or New Pocono.
Yes.
I think
it's going to be Legacy.
Yep.
Legacy Pocono? Okay, cool. I can actually practice it then because I don't have real Pocono yet. Just new iRacing things. So yeah, I really like Pocono. The Legacy Pocono, it's a lot like Rockingham. You have to be careful with your tires. Just whenever I've run Pickup Cup and Carb Cup, that's really the most experience I have at Pocono. And those cars tend to drive pretty sideways and squirrely, so you still got to watch for tires. But overall, I like Pocono, so we'll see. I got two top 10s to start the season, so I'll take it and run basically.
For sure, man. Well, you did a good job tonight. You was a great in-race reporter as well. Any shout-outs and stuff you want to give out before we get out of here?
Oh, just basically the biggest shout-outs to my Twitch community that I have. Bearded Gentleman 28. Had a few guys in here chat with me the whole race. I believe they were watching you on the broadcast, and if something happened that I couldn't see what happened, they were letting me know what was going on. So, and looks like somebody just hosted me on Twitch. So yeah, overall, it's literally mid-interview. I get the notification, but yeah, overall, I have to say, I said this earlier in the race, but everybody tonight, this race was a lot better than I think some of us were afraid of after the Thursday night practice. We thought it might be a little messy, but overall, this was a fantastic drive by everybody. Everyone was really good, giving each other space, except for it looks like it right at the end we had not so much space being given. But I wasn't up there, so I don't want to judge what happened there. The guys that run this league and especially all the drivers tonight, everyone was really courteous to each other, and it made it a lot more fun to race than just an eye-pacing fest.
For sure, man. Hey, good job tonight, buddy. Thank you for being our in-race reporter.
Yeah, anytime, guys. No problem.
Thank you, buddy. All right, Frank. We know the big story of the night is great Chris got the win, but of course the big story of the night was Derek Pemberton and Tony Ball. So
yeah, controversy creates some entertainment. I'll tell you that, man. It was a good race from start to finish. A lot of great action spread out all over the place. There weren't really any big wrecks, just guys making little mistakes that turned into bigger mistakes for them to cause cautions. And it wasn't really until the end where we got the fireworks. And boy, it's been kicking off.
Yeah, both we got people in the chat. One sided with Derek, some other one sided with Tony. Pick your side, whichever one you want to, and go with it. Because honestly, it made things more interesting for us in the broadcast booth, especially for the drama heading into next week at Pocono. The racing, in my opinion, was honestly fantastic. Whatever you say, whether Derek was wrong, whether he wasn't wrong, whatever. I thought it was great racing in general. But yeah, that'll do it. You got anything else you want to say?
No, it's just a great night of racing, a lot of fun, and it's really nice to see what these cars are able to do when they're not at North Wilkesboro or a super speedway.
For sure. All right, guys, that'll do it for us. Adam Chapman and Frank Marchese getting out of here. We hope y'all enjoyed the broadcast. We'll be live again next week as well. We will be live tomorrow for the Northwest Racing Association. I will have the coverage of that over on our Facebook at ESPN. We suggest everybody follow that. It's awesome. We want to appreciate everybody for tuning in tonight. Hope everybody has a great night. Y'all take care. We'll get out of here, and God bless.